First time we met Bob, I think I was in the apprenticeship office and Bob was an apprentice in the program. Bob was unique. He did the apprenticeship program at the same time he did college. So he was a Santa Clara college resident and a UA Local 38 apprentice at the same time.
My first contact with Bob in a business situation was in around 1984 when Scott Company rejoined the Mechanical Contractors Association, of which Bob was the president at the time. We had not wanted to be part of that association for a long time, and Bob convinced us that it would be a good idea. He either convinced us it would be a good idea or he won something in the card game with Joe Guglielmo and made us join. But in any case, we did join and it turned out to be a good idea.
I had interviewed with a couple of people in the office and then Bob came in and he sat down and he said to me, I don't smoke, I'm not a heavy drinker, I'm a family man, I don't cheat on my wife, I love to gamble, and when it's bid time, I become very intense. Can you deal with that? I said, yes, I believe so. He got up and he walked out of the room. That was my interview.
I come in one day and upstairs where the offices are, the place is a mess. The kitchen has dishes and food, and it's just in the main office area, there's golf clubs strewn all over the place. And I'm like, somebody broke in, you know, and I'm ready to call the cops. And come to find out that it was Bob's poker night, and this was the results of it. So I realized then I was at a different type of company.
We were down in the shop and we were down on the workbench, and I was talking to Charlie Nurisso, and we were down there talking, and I saw somebody come running down the driveway, jogging. He had a headband on, so he was in sweats, and I turned around, I looked at him, and I said, who the heck is this? And he came running over to the table where we were standing, and Charlie introduced me to him, and I says, hi, how are you? He goes, hi, I'm Bob Nurisso. He goes, welcome to the company. He said, make us a lot of money, and he says, you'll be working for us for the next 20 years. Well, I've been here for well over 20 years now, but that was one of the memories I remember with Bob, and he turned around and just jogged right out.
Years ago, we had to go to Bob's house, and we were doing a bit of work. A couple of us were going to Bob's house, and we were doing some work over at Bob's. So we put in some sinks and some stuff to kind of spruce the house up, and then it was during the holidays, and we put a new garbage disposal in, and new kitchen sink, and some labbies, and the big family gathering happened, and somebody in there went to go flip the garbage disposal on, and it wasn't hooked up quite correctly, and the garbage disposal fell out, and I guess it made quite a big mess in the Nurisso's home. And the best part of it is nobody really wanted to take blame for who did it, but I should probably come clean now on camera. It'd be a good time to come clean and probably tell Bob and his wife that the person who actually did hook the garbage disposal up was Jim Murray.
My favorite memory of Bob was when Don Watson sent me to meet Bob at a meeting right here on Valencia Street, because all the tub surrounds were falling off of the tub. And Don Watson calls me up and says, make sure Bob says this or make sure Bob says that. And I went, hey, Bob Nurisso's the owner of the company. He's an intelligent guy, you know. I said, he'll do fine. So we end up going to the meeting, and about 9 of us cram into one little bathroom, and Bob jumps into the bathtub and starts like looking at the bad glue and explains to this engineer how it was bad glue. The guy kind of goes like, that's BS, and Bob goes, who do you think you're talking to? And because I'm talking to you, and they get in a little argument. Next thing I know, they're outside. I'm trying to get out the hallway. I go outside, Bob's squaring off with this little tiny mouthy engineer, and I got to step in between them. 2 minutes later, Don Watson calls me and goes, "How did the meeting go?" And I went, "Oh, it went just great."
Bob, he says what's on his mind and doesn't really think of what he's saying until after he says it.
There was some workers doing some landscaping, and Bob didn't understand them, and he couldn't communicate to them what he wanted. So he came back to me, and he wanted me to be the interpreter. And I went, I don't speak Spanish. And Bob goes, "Your last name's Martinez, isn't it?" And I'm like, "Well, yeah, but I don't speak Spanish." And he looks at me and he goes, "What kind of Mexican are you?"
We had a lot of fun over the years, a lot of fun. A lot of things I can't talk about because I plan on going to the National Enquirer when I retire, maybe get an article or two, a lot of money involved. So we'll let that go.
Well, I'm thinking, why did Virginia marry him? That would have been my first tick on it. You know, Bob is one of the more unique people in our industry. He's always been very, very involved, very willing to give you his opinion on things. He's not a bashful person. That would be an understatement.
He's quite a character, but you know, family first. That's the way I think of Bob. He's a family business, and business and family is kind of all in one.
It's been a great 43 years for me, 42, 43. I enjoyed every minute with it, and I wouldn't trade it for anything. It was a pleasure working here, and it's been a lot of fun.
Frankly, I've learned a hell of a lot from Bob, both in terms of labor relations, in terms of business, in terms of estimating, and in terms of how to treat yourself and other people in the business. He's been a real good role model.
He's an owner that treats people like he knows you, he talks to you.
Because all I can say is thank you for his part and for giving me the opportunity. And I hope that I've lived up to what he's asked me to do.
I would have to say that thank you to Bob for all the opportunities he has given me. In the 10 plus, almost 11 years, I've grown in this position, and Bob has no problem giving people opportunity to grow if that's what they want.
Bob, 50 years in the business is a long time, and it shows what kind of person you are and your dedication to the business as a whole in the Bay Area. You have a great name for yourselves. Every time I talk to general contractors about Broadway Mechanical, it's usually good things. And the reputation that Broadway has through the union and the UA as a whole is because of you and your family. So thank you for everything you've done for our members.
To me, it's unconditional. I would do anything for the man because he's instilled not just a work, that culture, but just it extends beyond just that. It's bigger than that. Yeah.
The heart and soul of this company. He's the backbone. He's a pit bull. He really goes after it, and he's made it through some diverse times, and he always comes out on top. And he's very generous, and he takes care of his men. And proud to be working for him for this long. It means a lot to me.
I have nothing but good thoughts, and I wish him well if he ever gets to retire. Who knows? Probably be working here till he's 100.
Well, first of all, I'd start on a personal note and say, hey, Bob, thanks for having me and hiring me, not having me, hiring me in 1983. Something that I've been here almost 30 years, so it's proud for me to be here that time period.
You've been a good friend. You've been a good contractor. On behalf of all the members of Local 38 who's ever worked for you, we thank you. You pay the wages and fringes, sometimes late, but you pay them. So we appreciate that, and you're a good friend, and I always wish you the best with your family.
If you love what you're doing, you continue what you're doing, and that's why I'm still here.